This is how God protects you from the wrong relationship. Some relationships look harmless from the outside, yet they carry the power to drain your spirit, confuse your judgment, and pull you away from the life God designed for you. You feel the attraction, you feel the pull, you feel the hope, but something inside you tightens whenever you look deeper. That tightening is not fear. It is not insecurity. It is the quiet warning of a God who sees what you cannot see. Long before your heart understands the danger, God begins guarding you from the impact of a connection that was never meant to shape your future. Protection does not always look like a miracle. Sometimes it looks like confusion. Sometimes it looks like distance. Sometimes it looks like the person you wanted suddenly changing, pulling away, or revealing a side you never expected. In the moment, it feels painful. You try to make sense of it. You wonder if you did something wrong. You wonder if you missed your chance. Yet while you wrestle with the loss, God is working behind the scenes to keep your purpose untouched and your destiny unharmed. You have no idea how many tears God prevented, how many heartbreaks He blocked, how many traps He dismantled, how many battles He fought that you never had to face. When God protects you from the wrong relationship, He is not attacking your desires. He is defending your future. He is guarding your identity. He is shielding the version of you that He is building. He knows how fragile your heart can be, how deeply you feel, and how easily your spirit attaches to someone who speaks to your loneliness rather than your purpose. This message is not about judgment. It is about clarity. It is about understanding the signs that God uses when He refuses to let you settle for a connection that would silence your growth, diminish your calling, and rob you of peace. You are not being punished. You are being preserved. And the moment you understand how God protects you, you will stop chasing what fell apart and start recognizing the divine hand that held you together. Today, you will learn the patterns, the signals, and the spiritual movements that reveal when God is stepping in. You will see the truth behind the separation, the silence, the disappointment, and the sudden shift that made no sense at the time. And as you listen, your heart will begin to understand what your spirit has known for a long time. Before you ever realize a relationship has the power to wound you, God has already begun working behind the scenes. He sees the emotional traps hidden beneath the surface. He sees the motivations behind the charming words. He sees the patterns that would eventually drain your identity and weaken your purpose. While you are captivated by possibility, God is evaluating truth. He inspects what you cannot access. He scans the spiritual condition of the connection long before it reaches your heart. And when He knows the path will cost you more than it will bless you, He puts His shield in place. This shield does not appear dramatically. It begins quietly. It starts as a friction you cannot explain. Something feels slightly out of place. The conversation flows, yet something within you does not settle. You want to be excited, but your spirit does not rise with your emotions. This disconnect is not confusion or anxiety. It is God sending the first signal. It is the inner stirring that tries to protect you from attaching yourself to what will not sustain you. Sometimes God starts placing distance where you were trying to build closeness. The person becomes inconsistent. Their interest shifts without reason. Their enthusiasm fades at strange moments. You begin to think something is wrong with you, when in truth God is quietly dismantling a connection that would harm you later. He allows the rhythm to break, so your heart does not fall into a pattern that would imprison your peace. Other times, His shield appears through interruptions. Plans fall apart, conversations lose their spark, opportunities to move forward never align. You wonder why everything feels delayed. You question why progress refuses to happen. What you call frustration, God calls protection. He refuses to let you step into a relationship that would pull you away from your purpose, distract your focus, or dilute your identity. Every blocked moment is intentional. Every pause carries divine strategy. Every inconvenience is a rescue in disguise. God protects you in ways that rarely feel comfortable. You may feel disappointed. You may feel confused. You may even feel rejected. Yet what you interpret as loss is often God removing a door that leads to emotional complications, spiritual compromise, or unnecessary heartbreak. He guards your future by interrupting your present. He shields your calling by disrupting anything that would sabotage it. He steps between you and the danger you cannot perceive. Sometimes his protection comes through truth you were not looking for. A conversation reveals something unsettling. A detail slips out that exposes inconsistency. A reaction reveals immaturity or hidden intentions. God allows small flashes of truth to surface, so you will not build a future on a foundation that cannot carry weight. He reveals just enough for you to recognize that something is not aligned with the life he is preparing for you. And there are moments when his shield is simply peace leaving the room. Your spirit feels heavier when they are around. Your clarity weakens. Your joy dims. Your strength fades without explanation. These are not random emotions. They are spiritual indicators. They are warnings from a God who sees the outcome long before you reach it. When he senses danger approaching your heart, he pulls back the peace that kept you moving forward, so you will pause long enough to discern what your emotions want to ignore. God does not wait for you to break before he intervenes. He steps in early. He moves before the damage takes shape. He interrupts what you would have clung to. He distances you from what you would have trusted. He guards your heart even when you do not understand why. His protection is not punishment. It is mercy. It is love. It is the kindness of a father who refuses to let you settle for someone who cannot carry the weight of who you are becoming. Desire rarely disappears without a reason. When a relationship is wrong for your future, God often begins his protection by touching the very area you lean on the most, your feelings. There is a moment when the heart starts losing interest while the mind is still trying to hold on. You sense a shift that you cannot explain. The rhythm changes. Conversations feel forced. Your spirit becomes restless in a connection that once felt exciting. What used to satisfy you no longer settles you. It is not confusion. It is not emotional instability. It is the quiet signal of a God who loves you too much to let your emotions drag you into a place your purpose cannot survive. Nothing damages a destiny faster than being emotionally tied to someone who cannot walk with you into what God is building. So he disrupts what you thought you wanted. He pulls back the emotional warmth that kept you attached. He lets distance grow where you once felt closeness. Suddenly, the person's presence no longer calms you. Their voice no longer draws you in. Their attention no longer feels like confirmation. Instead, it becomes an internal tug of war between what used to feel right and what now feels off. It is in this disruption that God begins to realign your heart. He is not taking something from you. He is removing the illusion that was holding you. He is protecting the version of you that you have not met yet. When connection becomes cloudy, when attraction becomes inconsistent, when your heart begins stepping back without your permission, pay attention. God often speaks first through desire because he knows that feelings can blind you to truth that is trying to surface. You may start noticing small contradictions in the relationship that never bothered you before. You hear comments that touch wounds instead of healing them. You feel pressure where you once felt peace. You sense that you are giving more than you are receiving. These are not emotional weaknesses. These are warning signals sent by a God who is aligning your steps with precision. When he disturbs your affection, he is not punishing you. He is preserving you. Sometimes the disconnect appears suddenly. Sometimes it grows slowly. Either way, it is designed to pull your attention away from what was never meant to keep you. You may not understand the shift, but your spirit does. It knows when someone is not assigned to your future. It knows when God wants to redirect your heart before the wrong attachment becomes a long-term wound. If you feel the disruption, do not rush to silence it. Do not force the connection to recover. Do not blame yourself for the change. Instead, ask the deeper question: why would God disturb something I wanted so much? The answer is simple. Because what He has planned for you requires a heart free enough to recognize the right relationship when it appears. And He knows that if you stay tied to the wrong one, you will never walk into the one that carries healing, calling, and destiny. When desire fades without clear explanation, you are not losing something valuable. You are being redirected toward something sacred. Sometimes the truth about a person doesn't arrive as a loud revelation, but as a quiet disruption. You start noticing small moments that don't match the image you built in your mind. A mismatch between what they say and what they do. A shift in the way they treat you when no one is watching. A subtle change in their tone when your heart begins to open. These moments might feel insignificant, yet they carry the weight of protection. God often exposes misalignment through details that the heart would overlook if He did not bring them into the light at the exact moment you need clarity. Discernment rarely comes in dramatic signs. It shows up in discomfort. It shows up in a lack of peace after conversations that should have brought you joy. It shows up in the way your spirit tightens when something about the connection seems slightly off, even when nothing is obviously wrong. That tension is not confusion. It is revelation. It is God separating truth from illusion before your emotions build a home on unstable ground. He is showing you the difference between who someone appears to be and who they consistently reveal themselves to be. Misalignment becomes visible when a person's character starts slipping through the cracks of their performance. No matter how charming someone is, no matter how perfect the connection felt at first, consistency will always expose intention. God allows certain situations to arise so you can see how they handle frustration, how they handle disappointment, how they handle responsibility, how they handle your vulnerability. Their reaction in those moments is not an accident. It is a window. God is showing you the part of them that would have shaped your future if you had continued walking toward something He never approved. When God exposes misalignment, He is not trying to embarrass you. He is trying to protect you. He lets the small truth surface because He knows the deeper truth would have broken you. He lets the inconsistencies come to the surface because the connection was built more on desire than discernment. He disrupts the rhythm because He loves you too much to let you invest your heart in someone who cannot carry the weight of your calling. Nothing hurts more than seeing what you didn't want to see, but nothing heals faster than realizing God was giving you clarity before you lost time, purpose, or direction. Misalignment is God's way of making sure you do not settle for a relationship that looks right on the outside, but weakens your spirit on the inside. He reveals what your eyes missed and what your emotions tried to ignore. He reveals patterns, not to shame you, but to free you. He reveals truth, not to punish you, but to redirect you. When God shows you who someone is, He is also showing you who you are becoming. He reminds you that your heart is valuable, your future is sacred, and your purpose is too important to be tied to someone who cannot walk with you into the next season. Misalignment is not a loss. It is an intervention. It is God stepping between you and the harm you didn't see. It is the mercy that arrives disguised as discomfort. If you allow God to reveal truth early, He will protect your heart fully. If you trust what He shows you, He will guide you toward relationships built on truth, depth, maturity, and alignment with your destiny. Some of the greatest rescues God performs in your life never look like miracles at first. They feel like loss, confusion, rejection, or disruption. You think something went wrong, when the truth is that something was actually being made right. God steps into the path of a relationship that would consume your strength, distort your value, and pull you away from the future He shaped for you. Instead of letting you walk blindly into emotional harm, He raises a barrier that you cannot cross, no matter how hard you try. What feels like a door slammed in your face is the shield He placed in front of your heart. There are moments when conversations fade without explanation. Plans collapse in ways you didn't expect. Misunderstandings appear out of nowhere and create distance. Communication slows, enthusiasm dries up, and a connection that felt promising suddenly loses its rhythm. You wonder if you did something wrong, but heaven was answering a prayer you never knew you prayed. God heard the silent fear you carried. He saw the wound you never admitted. He knew the cost you would pay if this relationship continued, so He removed the illusion before it had the chance to become a prison. The barrier of grace is not punishment. It is protection. It is God stepping between you and a version of your life that would break your peace and bury your purpose. When He blocks something, it is never because you are unworthy. It is because the relationship was unworthy of the person you are becoming. God refuses to let you settle for a connection built on inconsistency, dependency, or emotional imbalance. He interrupts the momentum of a wrong attachment, so you do not anchor your future to someone incapable of walking with you into the next stage of your calling. You may feel the sting of disappointment, but heaven sees the danger you cannot see. You may feel abandoned, but in reality, you were rescued. You may feel rejected, but in truth, you were redirected. Every closed door carries God's fingerprints. Every interruption carries His wisdom. Every delay carries His mercy. When the connection crumbles without your permission, it is because God stepped into the space you could not step out of on your own. His love is strong enough to take away what your heart is too gentle to release. The greatest act of grace is when God saves you from the relationship that would have cost you the most. He blocks what was never meant to hold your heart so you can be free to receive what was designed to honor it. This barrier is not the end of your story. It is the beginning of a better chapter, shaped by truth, protected by purpose, and guided by the God who knows exactly who belongs in your life and who does not. Peace is the first sign that God has pulled you out of a relationship that was slowly draining your spirit. Not the dramatic kind of peace that arrives with fireworks, but the quiet kind that settles across your heart like a steady breath after surviving a storm. It is the unmistakable realization that something inside you finally stopped fighting. When God releases you from the wrong relationship, He also releases the tension, the confusion, and the internal wrestling that kept you awake at night. What once felt heavy now feels distant, and for the first time in a long time, you can hear your own soul again. There comes a moment when the silence feels safer than the conversations that used to exhaust you. The emotional pressure fades. The second guessing begins to disappear. You stop replaying old messages in your mind, hoping to find meaning in chaos. Your spirit rises from the weight, and a clear thought forms inside you. This separation was not the end of your worth, but the beginning of your restoration. God confirms your release by returning the parts of you that the wrong relationship slowly consumed. Strength comes back, clarity sharpens, identity settles. You feel yourself standing taller inside your own life. This confirmation doesn't always show up with big signs. Sometimes it comes in small moments. You wake up without anxiety. You breathe without heaviness. You go through the day without waiting for a message that once controlled your emotions. You stop apologizing for needs that were dismissed. You stop shrinking to fit environments that couldn't hold the fullness of who you are. You stop pretending that the bare minimum was love. This inner shift is the voice of God restoring what was damaged, reminding you that your heart was never meant to function on survival mode. There is also a divine clarity that arrives like a calm truth. You begin to see what you could not see when emotions were in control. You notice how much you compromised. You notice how often you ignored red flags. You notice how many times God tried to warn you before He finally intervened. The more your vision clears, the more grateful you become for a protection you once misunderstood. What felt like loss becomes evidence of God's commitment to your future. What felt like rejection becomes a doorway to purpose. What felt like abandonment becomes a proof of divine intervention. Then something powerful begins to unfold. Space opens in your life. Emotional room for joy returns. Mental capacity for purpose expands. Your heart becomes available for what is healthy, steady, and aligned. God does not free you from the wrong person without preparing you for the right season. The confirmation of release is not only what leaves your life, it is what begins to grow within you. Hope rises again. Expectation returns. You begin to believe that love can be safe, mutual, and God-ordained. You realize that the relationship God protects you from is never greater than the relationship He is preparing you for. This final chapter is not about who walked away. It is about who you are becoming. And when God confirms your release, He marks the beginning of a future that will not break you, drain you, or diminish you. It will honor your purpose, strengthen your identity, and align with the destiny He designed. That peace you feel is not the end of love. It is the beginning of real love, the kind that God Himself approves.